Hey folks, welcome to Planet Traffic. Today is December 3rd, 2025. Don't know why I had to add the 2025 part, because we kind of know, we already got 12 months invested in, we know what year it is. 43 degrees out today. This is the coldest day I've been riding the one wheel in a minute. But today's episode of Planet Traffic, oh, by the way, welcome to Planet Traffic. Today's episode is going to be coming from downtown Atlanta, and one of the reasons why I wanted to get here is really specifically for two Walking Dead film locations. One that I feel like might be getting compromised soon, and I guess I'll lead the episode off with that and show you this. Yo, this bridge right here was the bridge. This is new. I don't even know if I could say renovation. I think it's just new. The whole thing's new. But this was the bridge that that Rick rode the horse into the area where the tank was, season 1 Walking Dead. And it was a different kind of, well, it actually looked like a trestle, but I think it just on that episode, but it was kind of shot from down there, looking up as he rode his horse towards this area down here, specifically probably this giant building factory right here. Looks like an old factory building, probably residential now. That's usually how it goes. But right here, looking in this direction, look, Mercedes-Benz, State Farm, not too far up there. This, folks, I just learned, is called the Gulch. This whole area, it's a 50-acre parcel of land. As you can see, there's, I think, 2 sets of train lines. Well, you see the many tracks right here. There's also an additional track over that way. And this was basically, you know, Atlanta was always a major, massive rail hub forever. Matter of fact, I think we're going to put the date of when that started right here. But anyway, this area right here seems to be the border for all of the renovation that is being called Centennial Yards. You can already see this hotel. This hotel right here, this is something really nice. If you can get the gate in front of all your videos, it's a pretty good look. Right across the street from Mercedes-Benz, I think the one's called the Phoenix. That may be opening. That's part of the Centennial Yard. You can see the cranes. You can see all these additional buildings. What do we got? 1, 2 cranes, 3. There's been times I've seen even more than that down here. But this whole area is being developed. It's a $5 billion project, Centennial Yards. And one of the things I found most interesting about the project itself is that they're going to have a Cosm here. The Cosm actually looks like something I would like to go to. I don't know if it would be for like a wrestling pay-per-view. Would it be for a UFC? I don't know. It just looks kind of cool. I've seen them around. Seen them on broadcasts, pay-per-view broadcasts of people watching pay-per-view. That might be a thing for me. I'm not really sure. But anyway, so this is a full renovation right here. Like I said, 50-acre piece of ground, and they're really just building. You could see above ground, right? Of course. So the whole idea is to level this with actually like a structure that'll go up. These are active rail lines, so they're going to continue to be active, and they're going to just raise this up to be like street level, like where I'm standing right now, and where we're inevitably going to go to check out this one location that I want to document today. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this because I've been talking about the Centennial Yards and showing from time to time the different I don't know, the different buildings that are going up. We'll take a peek today too, but this is a massive $5 billion project. And there's, you know, it's and I'm going to put a video in the description of this video that I just recently watched that really explains all the specific add-ons that they're going to bring in here, all in this area right here. And this bridge is kind of like the border of it. I probably already said that. So looking towards the football stadium and State Farm Arena, this is the area that's being built up, as you can see with all the cranes. But I think they're targeting, like, I'm pretty sure it's at 2030, but that video is really good. I'll put it in my description. Really showed exactly what's coming and the date, the timelines. And okay, we're gonna move on to the next. One of the wildest things that you'll see, though, I've been reading anyway, is a lot of the metropolitan cities are starting to ticket. God damn. Almost went flying. That was user error right there, like what just happened there, because I'm not, like, it's like you need to keep your eye down. When you're riding one wheel, you better know what the frick is underneath you. But anyway, yeah, they're starting to ticket one-wheelers. It's probably just not one-wheel people. It's probably like frickin' anyone on a scooter or whatever. The reality of it is, I'm not saying there's not reckless frickin' people riding them. But you know who's the most reckless? These fucking people driving, man. These people driving are they ain't shit. They're just not. They're terrible. They're not looking for nothing. They're not even, you know, looking both ways before they make a turn on any street for real. Honestly. So ticket drivers more. I'm one of them. I'm a driver, but I'm kind of conscious of who's around me, whether it's a scooter or whatever. But anyway, okay, that's a public service announcement. Thanks for listening. Stop number 2 today is an addendum and a correction on my end. So I put a video out, put that in the link. I'll put that link in the description as well. I did some Walking Dead locations, film locations. I don't know, it might have been a month and a half ago, I'm not really sure. Wow, it's cold. So if you're like a Walking Dead nerd like I am, the tank in season 1 that Rick got stuck in, that's right around the corner at Walton and Forsyth. The street that was completely, all right, I'm way ahead. My brain's going ding 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 ding. So anyway, the whole scene where I showed you that bridge, that's a new bridge, but that's the right location of Rick with his horse coming into downtown Atlanta. Well, he then sees a helicopter in the windows above. Not sure if I'll find that building this time, but it is in that episode. He then chases that image, thinking he's going to see where the helicopter's landing or whatever. And then what ends up happening then is he makes a turn on, I think it's Poplar over here, in between Fairleigh and Forsyth, and gets caught up with a horde. The horde chases him to the tank that he already saw at Walton and Forsyth, and, you know, a bunch of stuff happens there. I'll leave that out. You can watch that in the other video if you want. But then Glenn, who deserved better, then radios Rick saying, "Hey, dummy, I could show you a way out of that tank, blah, 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 blah. Why you'd even think that was a good spot?" But he starts giving him the business. Rick pops out the tank. Glenn tells him to go so-and-so. Well, in that video that I did film, saying that, I was making claims like, yo, the spot where Glenn actually radioed Rick was nowhere near that intersection. It really was. So I stand corrected. A viewer saw it, corrected me, and sent me here. And I love that I shouldn't say love that person for that, but I'm going to say this much. If you correct me, I'm going to go fix that on the video. Yeah, so here's the alleyway, and here's the steps. I just rewatched that today, the circular, you know, roundabout as you go up the steps. These were the steps that they went up, Glenn and Rick, to avoid the massive horde that was chasing. Now, were they chasing them from this end on Fairley, or were they chasing them from the end on, I'm going to say it actually may have very well been here on Fairley. It seemed like a short little run for them. I don't know why my camera just did that. Hello, can I have? Sorry about that. So yeah, so they ran in here. I remember them closing this gate, but it really didn't do them any good. It slowed the horde up a little bit. They got to the steps. The interesting thing about it is they went up, say there was a landing, like, I don't even know, like a fifth of the way up. That ladder went to the roof. I don't know if that was CGI. I don't know if there was a renovation. Let's face it, folks, that was filmed well over a decade ago. But that is the ladder, and that is very close proximity to where the tank was. And I stand corrected, and greatly, and I already told that person that made the comment, I greatly appreciate it, because I really wanted to see where that ladder was, and here it is. That's the ladder. Rick and Glenn went up. Matter of fact, there's the landing. There's the initial landing right there. And then they knew they had to go further because the horde was starting to come up the ladder, and then the ladder extended all the way up. Yo, it was pretty, just looking at that on TV was wild and scary. I don't know if I would have been able to do that. I guess you had no choice. It was either go up the ladder or get eaten by 165,000 walkers at the bottom here. So right behind me, that intersection right there is where the tank was. And then basically, excuse me, there's where the tank was, right here. Right in that intersection. Right in this area, general area, okay? And here's the alleyway. Right there. Spectacular, right? Spectacular to me. You can see, okay, this alleyway stretches from Forsyth to Fairley. Tank right there. Glenn tells Rick he's an idiot. Oh, by the way, folks, right in the background, let's see if we can get a good, that's the building Rick saw the helicopter in. Because then the horde was up there. All in that episode, folks, I'll leave it in the link. The horde was literally the next intersection past this blinking red right here. Tank. Glenn radioed him, tell him he's a dope. Come follow me over here. He does. He comes in here. They go up the ladder. You can really only see the ladder from the Fairley side of this alleyway. But of course, I don't know if what if this was actually around. But yeah, I don't know. This is a good. This has already been a great day for me. Let's just say this is the north end of what Centennial Yards will be. I'm in between State Farm Arena and Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And just say this is the north end. Here, this is what it kind of looks like today. And I guess it makes sense because this is the area closest to the venues in the Gulch, which is where Centennial Yards is being built. This is what it looks like right here, and I believe this is Centennial Boulevard. I'm going to fact check that. That runs through here, but look at this. So yeah, I don't know which one of these is going to be Cosm, but you can see too, there's the Phoenix Hotel. Now leasing. There's another residential right to the left of that. Look at the proximity. Literally right across the street. I can only imagine what this is going to be at night. Right across the street from Mercedes-Benz. They got this big soccer tournament next summer. This is absolutely probably going to be packed to the gills, because this is going to be packed to the gills. And I don't know which one of these is going to be Cosm, but this is what's being built right here, right along the road. This I think it's again Centennial Boulevard, right there next to State Farm. This is what this looks like. And now I want to go document something very, 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 very important to me, as long as I can find it. And yeah, I just wanted you to see what this looked like. You can scan this and scan to learn more about our transformative vision. Yeah, Centennial Yards, Atlanta. Okay, we're on Martin Luther King Drive. There goes that intersection down there is Centennial Park. I'm just there. And my memory sucks. Avenue, let's just say that, okay? Centennial Park Trail Avenue, Centennial Avenue, there it is. I think I like Centennial Avenue, what do you think? Okay, so right here, very close to this spot, is one of my favorite film locations, one of them, of Walking Dead. So right about here, Season 5, hold on. Yeah, so right about here, there was a moment. Season 5, I think it was episode 6. Daryl and Carol out there looking for materials. You know the deal. Just checking everything they can check to see what they can find. And there's a van with the white cross on the window. I'm going to see if I get, I know I can get a picture of it. Right here. What rail? I'm going to say, watch this. I'm going to spin it. Watch it. I'm going to go with this. Right here. So there's a van right here. And for some odd reason, I guess they saw a horde, whoever was driving, and all of a sudden hopped this giant curb. But look, everything can't be perfect. That might not make any sense, but it is what it is. Hopped the curb and, they ended up, most of the van was hanging off the side of this frickin' overpass on MLK Drive. And, at the time, Mercedes wasn't there. It was the Georgia Dome. And actually, the Georgia Dome, I think, was set. Well, this certainly wasn't there. Look at this. Look at these monstrosities at Centennial Yards. They weren't there. As Carol and Daryl bring the van, it was hard times. That would have been a hard no for me, but I get it, man. It was an apocalypse. So as they were entering the van, there was a horde back here. I think it was back that intersection, because this is too winding and long for the camera angle to actually be where the horde was, in my opinion. But I think the horde was already, there was already a group at this intersection that Carol had ID'd. Of course, Daryl runs right in the driver's seat. That literally was over the edge here. Was literally hanging over the edge. And then they both get in there. Makes sense, because that won't tip the van, will it? And at that point, there was a massive horde. They tried fighting it, and they were like, no. They got in the van to protect themselves. And they were basically hanging over the overpass. The only way to get away from it now, because it was just such a massive horde, was to start teetering the van to the point that it would fall right in between them tracks, those two sets of tracks. And they tipped it. They buckled themselves in, flipped the van. The van landed down there on its tires, which was kind of cool. They unbuckled, got their backs all back in order. As the walkers were walking off of this, they were walking off of this, of course, splattering on the windshield. They walked off, and in the video I could see these tracks over here as they walk in that direction. And also in the video, being currently blocked by more of the Centennial Yards build, was State Farm Arena. And what's hilarious is they put a light grime over everything down here. And that I'm assuming that was probably CGI. Whatever it was kind of cool, because like you could see the State Farm Arena, the front hasn't really changed since then. I don't know why I'm still showing you, because you can't even see it. But I'm gonna put a clip. I'll get a picture of State Farm Arena as it appeared in The Walking Dead, because it has definitely a layer of grime on it. And they walked off in that direction after having tipped the van right about here. Right about here. Kind of cool. What's going to happen with this road? Well, I doubt. Look, I can tell you what needs to happen with this road. Check this out. So one of the biggest curbs you'll ever see. You know what? That might be a thumbnail. Everything is under review. But yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Even this souvenir. So they had the biggest curb you'll ever see. But yeah, the van jumped. I guess made this turn and went, oh my God, a horde. And then went, and then went, let me push more gas. Boom, 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 and landed. You know, pretty much. More than 50% of the van was hanging off the edge here. But here's what they really need to do. This is the blockbuster news about it. What they really need to do is look at this street. Boy, and I know this will get done in no time, but look, this one's really taking some. There's some divots in this one. So I'm going to assume, yeah, that's off limits over there, so you can only see so much. You can see another building going up right here. Look at this. Look at that one. That's going up. Then you see a structure right next to that. Look, they really got this thing going, man. It was going to be in pieces, and you'll see it in that video that I put in the link in the description. Put in the description a link to it. But they got some kind of financial favorable scenario where they can literally start it all. Like boom, boom, like go, ready? Bingo, bango, boongo, boom, 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 boom. Like they literally, this wasn't one of them things, well, the hotel will go up. Well, it did go up and it's almost done. But all this stuff went up. Like it was like up, 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 up. So they again, $5 billion, and we're actually standing right over the Gulch itself. Kind of sort of in the middle. It's 50 acres. The Gulch is 50 acres, period. If I had a drone, we'd fly it all the way up there and take a picture. There's a million pictures overhead on YouTube videos, but yeah, this is the Gulch right here, and all the workings and the stuff that's you know, on its way up. And then most importantly, never forget the fact. And you know, I got a funny story. I know I like to ramble. Well, I'm going to keep on rambling. Watch this. There's Mercedes right there, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. If you look right about there, you see them windows? So I was on a tour of the stadium, and the host was absolutely spectacular. Really did a great job. And oh, by the way, was a big Walking Dead fan. She subscribes to my channel now. If she sees this one, you did a fantastic job of that tour. That tour was spectacular. So I shared as we were leaving, and she seemed pretty amped up about knowing this, that as you looked out that window, where's my finger? There it is. One of these windows right around there. You could see this location, this iconic film location for The Walking Dead. And she was really excited about it because she was a big fan of The Walking Dead, is a big fan of The Walking Dead. So that was kind of cool to share that with a person that's doing a hell of a job hosting the tours at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And that being said, go Birds. Breaking news. Now, what building is it going to be? This one on the left or this one on the right? And I'm going to say the one on the right, but I'm not positive because I got this information on the other side on MLK Drive. The gentleman was saying one of these two is Cosm. So that's pretty cool, yeah, I think. Let's do this. Yeah, okay. So yeah, one of the two of these is Cosm, and they're actually thinking that everything that's on its way up now will be done probably by the summer, which is really unbelievable to think about. But Hotel Phoenix is open. It's actually open. Like, I think you can rent a room in Hotel Phoenix now. Boy, I'll have to think about that. And I think the Mitchell building, again, I'm just blabbering away here, is the one right here. And this one's called the Phoenix to the right. But yeah, one of these is Cosm. This is really good reporting, isn't it? Nothing really specifically. I know that's the Phoenix right here. One of these two is Cosm. That one in the back, I think, is Mitchell. There you go. And tonight's breaking story is, for sure, that's the Phoenix. All right, I'm going to close out this video right here where it started. At this bridge. What bridge is it? What are they calling it? But you can see they put the cactus in there. They're sprucing this area up too. Shouldn't say they put the cactus in. That could have been here a while. Yeah, so that's going to do it for this episode, folks. Thanks for watching from, like, I don't know, the southwest end of the Gulch. We learned a lot today, I think. Learned a lot about Centennial Yards. Found a new film location for me anyway, the Carol and Darrell van spot. Right up there a little bit. Not that bridge, the bridge after. The overpass after. And what else? Oh, and the Glen ladder. The Glen and Rick ladder. Yeah, man. So yeah, have a great day. Pleasant tomorrow. I'll see you next episode. Upcoming. I'm celebrating my 3-year anniversary of being retired. It's been an interesting 3 years. Well, at least retired from my postal service job. Let's just say that. Anyway, that's upcoming. And yeah, Centennial Yards. We kind of also know where the heck the Cosm building is going to be located. It is going to be located directly across the street from State Farm Arena. And I'm thinking it's the one on the corner next to the Hotel Phoenix. Yeah, a lot went on today. A lot, and ran out of phone battery. That was pretty cool over by the Coca-Cola building. All right, folks, have a great day. Pleasant tomorrow. I'm going to see you next episode. See y'all later. I don't know if I like that outro. We'll see how. All right, bye-bye.